Hello guys, welcome to Nita Crochet. The hook is my magic wand and you are welcome to yet another tutorial by me. My name is Anita. So today we are working this fringe top. I don't know what to call it, either bralette or top or something, but you can call it anything you are comfortable with. I got this as a custom order and I thought I should write a pattern for it and also work a tutorial for it. So the pattern is on my Etsy, Ravelry and Kofi shop, alright? So the links will be down below in the description box. The materials we shall need for this project is a 3.5mm hook, scissors, tape measure, darning needle, okay? So to get started, this is the yarn I'm going to be working with. It is size 2 yarn, 50 grams, and this is robin. It's 100% acrylic. I'm going to be doubling my strands. Please do not worry about the plaster on my palm. I got a cut. And also for my voice, I'm having cough and flu and I have not been recording really so vigorously like I was. That's why we've had a sort of like short break. But yes, to continue with the project, we are going to make a slip knot and we shall chain 20. Actually we should chain 22, okay? I'm making this for a size medium. If you are working for a small size or size large, please check out the written pattern for this top on my Etsy or Kofi shop. The pattern has vivid explanations and vivid instructions for those size variations, both size small, medium and large, okay? So after we have our chains into the second chain stitch from the hook, we work a double crochet and we are going to keep working one double crochet into every chain stitch until we come to the end of our row. So you should have a total number of 20 stitches, okay? Remember we chained 22 when starting this project. So you must have 20 stitches once you come to the end of this row. So let me meet you guys there. So this is what we have, and this is how it looks like. I'm not really sure whether you guys can see this clearly because I'm working with a hot color and I have tried to like record this tutorial from outside on natural light, but I don't know if I'll also get the result that I want because I'm trying not to get these complaints of I don't see what you're doing or blah blah blah. So I just hope you guys can see. So for my next row I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. And I will work one double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row once again. So I am going to do this very same thing for all the rows until I have a total number of 10 rows. So these are 2 rows so far because this is the second row. I'm going to let you guys work your double crochets, just working one double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. And you are going to do this for the next 8 rows so that we have a total of 10 rows. And that's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do. For just to give you a hint on adjustments for other sizes, please. For this panel right here, we are just typically going to work 10 rows. Whether you're working size large or medium or what, please work 10 rows. So let me get back once you have your 10 rows and I'll show you what to do. So here we are with 10 rows, as you can see. Yes, we have 10 rows, and now I am going to let you guys count all the stitches you have on your row. We have 20, so I'm going to have you guys mark the 10th stitch from both ends, okay? So once you mark that stitch, that's where we are going to start working the increment we want for our breast cap, okay? So mark your 10th stitch and then start to do what I am doing right now. Now we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. I'm so sorry to have me clear my voice within the video, but it's the cough that is really giving me this sort of thing. I hope you just bear with me, please, because I really have kept this video in my gallery for a long time and I haven't gotten to voice it, and this is the only chance I have to voice it to put it out for you guys, so please bear with me. Now once we have our 2 chains, we are going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until we get to the marked stitch. I personally didn't mark my stitch because I already know which stitch to work my increment. So I'm just going to work 9 stitches, okay, and then I will work the increment into the 10th stitch. All right, so this was the last stitch, so into this next stitch is where we are going to work our increment. So I believe for you this is your marked stitch. Now into the marked stitch I am going to work 4 double crochets all in the very same stitch right there. So that is 1, and I will work the 2nd stitch and then the 3rd stitch and lastly the 4th stitch right there. So this is more like an increment to have us like get our panel or project larger so it can cover up our bust very well. All right, so from here I am going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row. All right, now this is what we have, okay, and now to work the next row we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Now the center stitch is the stitch in between the 4 is more like the 2nd stitch of the 4 that we worked previously, of the first double crochets that we worked at the center of our row previously. So for me I really don't have to mark the stitch because I just know where to put my stitches. Now for you, you will mark the stitch and then chain 2, turn your work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until you get to that 2nd stitch of the 4 double crochets that we worked previously. Okay, now as you can see I am almost there. So I have like 2 stitches. So this very next stitch is where I have to work my 4 double crochets. I'm just counting my stitches so I make sure I am on track. But yes, that's where I have to work my 4 double crochets. So I'm going to work 3 more double crochets all in this very same stitch. And once I have all 4 stitches in this stitch, I'm going to now continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. So you're going to do this very same thing repeatedly for the next 2 rows, okay? Well, I'm working for size medium, so the next 2 rows you do the same thing. So here we are. I have 4 rows of an increment. If you're working for sizes small, you shouldn't have 4 rows, okay? You should work a less number of rows that have this kind of increment, because the more the increase, the more wider your bust goes, okay? So just use your tape measure and see that the width that you have on this last row is one that can actually fit your breast cup, okay? So make sure that this width is one that can fit your breast or your bust, okay? And now once you have the width that can fit your bust, you are going to chain 2, turn your work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until you come to the end of the row. So we are not working any more increments because we have the width that we want for our top or our breast cup, okay? And yes, you are going to be working just normal rows of double crochet for the next 5 rows. So I want a total number of 6 rows, 6 rows of normal double crochet from the row that we worked for the increment, okay? So not to confuse you, what I am trying to mean is we started with 10 rows of normal double crochet, and then we worked 4 rows of an increment, and now we are working 6 rows of normal double crochet. So I'm going to meet you once you have all 6, okay, and then show you what to do. And here we are. This is what we have, okay. You see that the normal rows have given us this sort of like curve, and it has really shown us perfectly where our breast is actually going to sit, and that's what we are looking for. So now for this row, for the next rows, we are going to be working a decrease, okay. This top actually resembles the crisscross bralette, whose tutorial is also on my channel, okay. Almost the pattern is the same, okay. Almost everything is the same, but just a few changes on the edges and the fringes and all that gives us some kind of like difference, but they have so much resemblance. So just in case you like this one and you like the other one, you can always check out the tutorial as well, and the link is going to be down below in the description box. So now for this row, we are going to chain 2 and turn our work, and we are going to work 2 double crochets together into the first and second stitch. Count your rows and mark the center stitch, okay. I really don't have stitch markers. I rarely actually work with them. I just count my stitches and then mark, get to know what stitch has to be the center stitch, and there, when I get there, I work the decrease or increase that I have to work. So we have worked 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches. Now for the next stitches, until the marked stitch, we are going to be working 1 double crochet. So work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the center stitch or center stitch of your project, okay. So it is best you have a stitch marker that marked that stitch. So I'm going to let you guys work your double crochets until the center stitch, and that's where I'm going to meet you, then show you what to do. Now here we are. This is the center stitch for me. So I'm going to work 2 double crochets together into that stitch and the next stitch, just like that. So you work your 2 double crochets together, and then from here I am going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I have 2 stitches left to end the row, okay. Work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left to end your row. Now I'm right here, and into the last 2 stitches to end your row, we work 2 double crochets together, okay. So basically we have worked a decrease when starting the row, we worked a decrease in the center of the row, we worked a decrease at the end of the row. So to start your next row, we chain 2 and turn our work. You see that we are getting that sort of like curve, okay. So here once again we are going to work 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches, so that is a decrease, and then I am going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I get to the center decrease that we worked previously, that is the center stitch. So when I get there, I am going to then work also a decrease. So let me meet you guys there. Okay, so I'm right here. So into this stitch and the next, I'm going to work 2 double crochets together, just like that. So I get in there, pull through here, and then pull through all, okay. Now again, I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I have 2 stitches left to end the row. Then from there, that's where I'm going to meet you, then show you how to end your row. And here we are. So I have 2 stitches left, and into those 2 stitches I'm going to work 2 double crochets together, and that's how I end my row. So basically we have to have an increase at the beginning, the center, and at the end of the row, okay. So you are going to do this until you have 6 stitches left on your row. So let me meet you guys there. And here we are. We have only 6 stitches left on my row, and that's how it looks like. You may have 6 or 7 or whatever, given how many rows you worked for your increment, but just make sure at least you have between 5, 6 or 7. Okay. So there we are. Now to work the next row, I'm going to chain 1, and now I am going to be working along the edge. So into the very last stitch. Okay, I'm working along this edge until all the way down the foundation chains that we worked for this project. So I'll have to work a single crochet into the very first stitch, and now into this double crochet post I am going to work 2 single crochets. Okay, once again I am going to continue with 2 single crochets into every double crochet post. Okay, I usually work 1 single crochet at the center of the post, and then the other single crochet at the bottom of the post. If that is going to confuse you, kindly work 2 single crochets into every double crochet post, because it will also give you the very same result. Okay, so do this all the way until you get back down to the foundation chains. That's at the end of this edge. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. So this is where we are, just at the bottom of our work, and this is how the single crochets have looked like. So now for the next row, I am going to be working a simple mesh sort of like stitch or pattern. Okay, here I am going to chain 3 and turn my work. Into the third stitch from the hook, I am going to work a half double crochet, just like that, and I will chain 1. So basically on the 3 chains that we worked, 2 of them act as a stitch, and then 1 is for the chain gap. And from here we chain 1, skip 1, work a half double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So you are going to do this all the way until you get back to the top of our edge. Okay, that's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do. We're at the top of our edge right there, and this is how it looks like so far. So for the next row, I am going to chain 1 and turn my work, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet into the very first stitch. Then I will work 1 single crochet into the chain gap, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So basically I am working 1 single crochet into the chain gap and 1 single crochet into the next half double crochet stitch. So this is what you are going to do all the way up for all the chain gaps and stitches along this row until you get to the end of the row. That's where I'm going to meet you, then show you what to do next. I'm at the end of my row, and this is how it looks like, and I'm not going to do anything different. So for this row, once again I'm going to be working the mesh stitch. So I will chain 3 and turn my work. 2 of the chains are going to act as a stitch. Okay, I hope you guys can see clearly because I've tried to dim my light. I'm really doing almost everything that I can in my power to have you guys see what I am doing as much as I'm working with a hot color. So once you have all 3 chains, you are going to work 1 half double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch from the hook, and from there you chain 1, skip 1, work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. You are going to do this repeatedly until you come to the end of this row. Okay, that's where I'm going to meet you and show you how to work the next row. Right here at the end of my row, and I'm going to do exactly the very same thing that I did after my mesh stitch previously. So I'll chain one and turn my work. I'm going to work one single crochet into the very first stitch and work one single crochet into the chain gap. And I'm going to continue working one single crochet into the previously made half double crochet stitch and then one single crochet in the chain gap. I'm going to do this repeatedly until I get to the end of my row. Okay, when ending the row, you will work a single crochet into the second chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the previous row. I forgot to say that on the last row, the other row that we worked after the mesh, but yes, at least I've remembered, work one single crochet into the second chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the previous row. So let me meet you guys there once you're done with this. So I'm right here, and this is how my work looks like. So for the next rows, I'm going to be working on the opposite side of our foundation chains. Okay, right there. So I'm not going to cut my yarn, I'm just going to continue from exactly where I stopped. Okay, so I'm going to chain one. I'm just working along this, okay, because I want to work my straps. So into this very first stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet, and I'm going to work one single crochet into the next stitch as well. Now into the half double crochet post, I'll work a single crochet, then get into the next single crochet post, work a single crochet, do the same thing for the double crochet post. Then here I'm going to resume with one single crochet into every chain stitch. So basically I am working on the opposite side of my foundation chains. So I'm going to do this until I get right here at the end of the row. So this is how it looks like. Okay, I hope you can see this. Yes, so basically that's how it looks like. So I'm going to chain one. First of all, I want you to count all the number of stitches that you have on this row and then mark the center, okay? Because I want 2 straps for this, okay? I want 2 straps so they can tie to the back to give me like that very firm hold, all right? So count your stitches and then mark the center. I already know where I have to place my center, okay? So I'm going to be working one single crochet into every stitch until the marked stitch, which is the center stitch of this row, okay? So work your stitches until you get there. So this is it. This is what I have. I'm just confirming my stitches to make sure that I have the right stitches. So I've taken off one because I want to work 2 single crochets together into the stitch before the marked stitch, okay? So once you work your 2 single crochets together, you will chain one, turn your work into the second stitch from the hook. You work a single crochet, so that means we have worked a decrease. And then we are going to continue working one single crochet into every stitch all the way down until we get to the end of our row. Okay, so my intention is to have 2 straps on this panel. Basically this is just a panel and a breast cap for our right breast, okay? And we need 2 of these. So I want for each panel to have 2 straps. So basically I'm going to have a total number of 4 straps that tie tie to my back, okay? So after you have the row complete, you chain one, turn your work, and work one single crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left to end your row, okay? So I'm going to meet you once you have 2 stitches left to end your row, then I show you how to end your row. So here we are. I have 2 stitches to end my row, so I will get to work 2 single crochets together into these last 2 stitches. So that's how you end your row. Now to start the next row, you chain 1, turn your work, skip 1 stitch into the second stitch from the hook, you work 1 single crochet, and then continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until you come to the end of your row. So basically this is what you're going to keep doing until you have 1 stitch, okay? Until you have 1 stitch. So you're going to continue working these decreases until you have 1 stitch, and that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do, okay? So you'll see it decreasing over time. Here we are, 1 stitch left for me. So once I am here, I am going to be working my strap, okay? So I'm going to work a couple of chains. I usually recommend 60 to 70 chains, okay? But you can work more or less given how long you want your strap to be. Your strap to be. So just work your chains, and then I'm going to get back and show you what to do next. So once you have all the chains that you need to have for your strap, okay, you are going to work a slip stitch into the 4th chain stitch from the hook, just like that. Then I will chain 2, skip 2, work a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2, work a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2, work a slip stitch in the next. So I'm going to do this repeatedly all the way until I get back to the body of my top, or to the stitches I last worked before I worked the chains for these straps. So that's where I'm going to meet you guys and show you what to do. So basically this is my strap, okay? It is like thick enough, the gauge is just fine, okay? It can hold your boob high up in a way that is comfortable for you. So now here I'm going to work a slip stitch, a single crochet onto the last single crochet of the row that I worked before I worked the chains. So now I'm going to work along this edge all the way to the top of my piece. So basically I am just trying to make sure that I have a clean edge, and I'm going to be working 1 single crochet into every stitch or every single crochet post all the way until I get back up. For where I have double crochet posts, I'm going to be working 2 single crochets into every double crochet post, just like I did on the opposite edge, okay? So do the very same thing all the way going up until you get to the top of your piece. That's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do next. So yes, you are just going to continue with 1 single crochet into every stitch, and once you get to the double crochets, you do the very same thing, 2 double crochets into every double crochet post. Now get back here and do the very same thing for this second strap, just like you did for the previous strap, okay? So don't work this row I worked at the edge, so just work the body of the strap and also the strap and stop right there, okay? You see, for the very last row of the edge, this is what I did. So I'm going to meet you before you get to work this. Just work the strap and the chains, okay? Then I'll get back and show you how to work along the edge. So yes, I have my strap. You see, I came back with the single crochets, the slip stitches I was working every after 2 chains, okay? And now I'm just going to chain 2 and attach my piece onto the last stitch of this row right there. So to do that, I work a single crochet. Now I'm going to resume with 1 single crochet into every single crochet post all the way until I get to the single crochets that were worked at the edge of this very same side, okay? So first of all, I just want to show you something. If you take a close look at my work, you can see I have a stitch that I marked, okay? If we count the chain gaps I skipped, there are about 11 chain gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay? There are 13 chain gaps. So basically, I marked that stitch that is in line with the 13 chain gaps. So I'm going to work my single crochets until that marked stitch. You should also mark the very same stitch, okay? But if you're working for sizes small, I think you'll not mark the very same stitch, but a few more stitches, like less, okay? But if you want perfect like size variations, then the written pattern that is on my Etsy and Kofi shop, also on my Ravelry, you can go and get the pattern right there. So now once I get to this stitch or the marked stitch, I'm going to take out my acting stitch marker, and from here I'm going to start working the shell stitch, okay? So I am going to chain 2, and into this very same stitch I am going to work 3 double crochets, just like that. And once I have all 3 double crochets, I am going to skip 1, 2, and now into the 3rd stitch I am going to work a single crochet. So basically I am skipping 2 stitches and working a single crochet into the next stitch, okay? So from here I am going to skip 1, 2, into this next stitch I work 3 double crochets, all in this very same stitch. This is the open shell stitch, so chain 1. Again, in this very same stitch we work 3 double crochets, okay? So we have 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in this very same stitch. Now here I am going to skip 1, 2, and into the next stitch I will work a single crochet. Sorry, I skipped 3 stitches, okay? So for the next shell I'm going to skip 2 stitches and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. I skipped 3 previously. Now for this shell I'm skipping 2, okay? 2 stitches. So you work your 3 double crochets and then chain 1, 3 double crochets. So this is the 3rd double crochet. Then I'll chain 1, work 3 double crochets once again in this very same stitch. Okay, now here I'm going to skip 3 stitches. Into the next stitch is where I work my single crochet, then skip 2 stitches. Into the next stitch I will work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So basically I'm skipping 2 stitches, then 3 stitches, then skip 2, then skip 3, okay? In that kind of series. So remember I marked the 26th stitch, so that means counting from the top, if I said we are leaving 13 chain gaps for our shells, then that means there were 26 stitches. So here I'm skipping 2, and into the very last stitch I am going to work 3 double crochets to end my row. So this is it, and this is how my work looks like. For sizes small or sizes large, please endeavor to get my written pattern. If you feel like you cannot purchase my written pattern, then just seeing how I made this can give you more like a picture of how you can work yours to fit. So you're going to follow the very same steps to make the second piece. Just make sure you don't work the last row of shells, because I want to attach these shells, okay, onto this, okay, so they are fully attached to close up our cleavage. So work your single crochets for the last row of the edge until where you have to work your shells, okay, just like I did right here. So my second piece is complete, and here is where I have to now start working the shells, okay? So to work the shells and attach them to my previously made breast cup, this is what I will do. So to attach the very first half a shell to this is I will chain 2. Sorry, I'm not going to work a double crochet. Instead, I'm going to cross over to my very first shell, the tip of it, and I'll insert my hook and pull through yarn. So basically, I'll be working a slip stitch, just like that. And then I'm going to yarn over into the very same stitch on the other on the row of my left breast cup is where I'm going to work my other 3 double crochets. Okay, into that very same stitch. I just hope this is not really confusing for you. We are working into the stitches of the left breast cup, but once we get to the top of the shell or the opening of the shell, that's when we work a slip stitch on this side. So I'm going to skip my 3 stitches. So here I'm going to work my single crochet, and now I'm going to skip 2, okay, and then into the next stitch I'm going to work 3 double crochets. And once I have all 3 double crochets, I'm going to, instead of chaining 1, I'm going to get to the center of the next shell, which is that chain 1 space. Okay, there I will work a slip stitch. Okay, so I'll turn over and get back to my project. Into the very same stitch again, I work 3 double crochets. I'm sorry about the noise. Those that actually follow me know that I have a 4-month baby now that I usually voice my tutorials with. So you will work your 3 double crochets, then skip 3 and work a single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and you're going to continue attaching your pieces just like that. So here we skip 2 and into the next stitch we work 3 double crochets. Okay, and once you have all 3 double crochets, you're going to get to this opposite piece, find the next shell, and in there, into the chain 1 space, you will work a slip stitch just like that to attach it, and then get back to that very stitch you are working into, and you will work 3 double crochets once again in that very same stitch. Then from here you will skip 3 and into the next you work a single crochet. So you're just going to do the very same thing for all the shells and get them attached fully all the way up to up. Okay, so into this upper piece you will just work your 3 double crochets, then work a slip stitch into the tip of the last shell. Okay, so here this is where you're going to start adding your fringes up to the other end. Okay, so they'll run all the way down up to this other end. Okay, and I'm going to get back to show you how to add the straps onto your piece. So I haven't been in position to work the straps with you guys, but let me show you how I made mine. I went ahead, inserted my hook into the last stitch that was at this corner right there. Then I worked a single crochet right there. Then I worked chains all the way. I worked about 60 chains, then did the very same thing I have been doing for each of my straps, working a slip stitch into the 3rd chain stitch, then chain 2, skip 2, work a slip stitch into the next stitch, and I did that all the way down back here. Then I went ahead to work 1 single crochet into every stitch across to the other end as well. Once I got to the last corner, I worked my chains, did the very same thing, then came back, worked a single crochet and a slip stitch there. So I cut my yarn and I'll be weaving in my end. So that's how you're going to add your straps there. Now what I'm doing here is working a few single crochets all the way to up until I get to almost like the 3rd stitch from up. Then I'm going to work another strap right here, then work a slip stitch to attach it there. I'm just doing this as an extra strap for extra grip for those who have bigger busts, because I figured it will like be great to have extra grip. Now I have added my fringes, as you can see, all the way from this side. across to the other side, and I get a few questions about how can we add fringes to our pieces. It's very easy. You just get a long strand of yarn, insert your hook into the stitch where you want your fringe to be, pull through yarn, and then yarn over, pull through in that loop. Okay, then you will just fasten the end of your yarn. Okay, if you look closely, I was skipping one stitch, then putting a fringe into the next. So basically this is how your top has to look like, and your so once again, thank you so much for watching. Let me see you in my next video. Goodbye.